All right. Well, happy Thursday. Happy August. I am an August Leo, so this is my month, and I'm thrilled to be spending the first day of it with you all. You are in the right place if you are speaking at Take Charge Solo and Small Firm Conference. This is our faculty orientation call, and we are absolutely thrilled to be building this conference with you. So first and foremost, hello, welcome. My name is Nkoyo F. Young Lewis. I am the Director of Law Practice Management Program here at the State Bar of Georgia. Also sitting in this seat as the program chair for this conference. A bit about me, I am a big law dropout who went on to start her own practice, ran a flat fee subscription legal practice for a little bit of time before I transitioned over here to help. What we do here at Law Practice Management Program is help our attorneys start, scale, or shut down their law practice with less stress. And this conference is one of the pillars of success for us in our attempts to make sure that we are meeting the needs of solo and small firm attorneys here in Georgia. This is absolutely a full circle moment for me because I remember coming to this conference when I decided one day to hang out a shingle with exactly zero idea of what that actually meant. And this program and this conference has been instrumental in helping me grow my practice and has helped a lot of other attorneys do so as well. And this is absolutely not a one-person show. We have an incredible team here at the Law Practice Management Program, along with ICLE, that are here and help us out. And so I'm going to give everyone a quick 2 minutes or so or less to introduce themselves. And I'm going to start with my all-star team here at Law Practice Management, many of whom I met when I was also just trying to figure out how to run the law practice. So I will pass it over to Kim Henry, who is our resource advisor. And then Kim, if you'll pass it to Sheila. And then Sheila, if you'll pass it to Alyssa. And Alyssa, you can pass it to Natalie. So we'll do that little round robin. So Kim, go ahead and introduce yourself to the group. You are on mute.
Hello and good afternoon, everyone. As Nkoyo said, my name is Kim Henry, and I am the resource advisor with the Law Practice Management Program. I provide educational and training resources on law management to members, develop and assist with the implementation of major projects for our program, advise members on general law office management and technology issues, and manage our resource library, where members can check out resources on practice management. And that's it. I'll pass it on to Sheila.
Good afternoon. My name is Sheila Baldwin. Looking at the screen, I know quite a few of you already from past experiences. I work here at the bar as the member benefits coordinator. I also assist our members with finding good software and legal technology. Probably most of our members know me as the fast case representative here at the bar. They're very excited about that, one of their best member benefits. And the other thing I love to do is the exhibit hall for our conference. And that's what we'll be talking about today. So I'm going to pass this on to Alyssa.
Thank you, Sheila. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alyssa Hubbard. I'm the programs manager with ICLE. And what I do here is help with the logistics of planning CLE programs. So the ICLE department is working closely with your program chair, Nkoyo, and her awesome team to make sure that you have an awesome program. Natalie can introduce herself next. Thank you.
Hi, good morning. My name is Natalie Brown, and I'm a new member of the ICLE team. I'm a program coordinator who helps to facilitate logistics details associated with planning and execution of conference in collaboration with the program chairs and your team members. Thank you.
Fantastic. So it's important to me that you get to know and hear from these live human beings who will probably be in your inbox a lot. And so I always want to make a point to let you know that we are human beings on the other side of that email, just like we know that you are as well. But I also think it's great for you to know who is working behind the scenes to make sure that all of this goes smoothly for you as speakers and also for our attendees. I'm going to give you just a quick overview of what we're going to talk about. My goal is that we'll get through this with a little bit of time back on your calendar. If you know me, I'm always trying to give very busy professionals time back on their calendar to do absolutely anything, even if that's watching paint dry. And so I'm going to make sure that we try to move through this as efficiently as possible and we have space. So we'll talk about the conference vibe. We'll share a little bit about what Take Charge has been. I know we have a number of speakers who are new this year, which is incredibly exciting. And this is more than a conference. This is absolutely a community that we are building here. And so we want to give you a little behind the scenes of what we are creating so that we can make sure that we're co-creating that as we get ready to execute and put on another successful conference for the bar. We'll talk a little bit about session guidelines. I know you have received an email already that talked about some of the things you need to do as faculty and deadlines and all those types of things. So we will chat about that. If there's only one thing that you remember besides the deadline is April 15th, and we are really trying to meet that deadline so that other things move smoothly. The only other thing I want you to remember about our sessions is that practical takeaways are key. It is very useful for people to have practical things that they can walk out of this conference with. If any of you are solo small firm attorneys, you know that you are wearing many, many hats. And so a lot of us go to conferences and spend a lot of time getting a lot of really great information and then never implement it because it's hard to do so. And so we want to make sure that we're giving people nuggets that they can take away and actually put to use that day, next day, before Monday, because, once we go back to our regular lives, we're in our regular lives again. We'll talk about logistics and deadlines, and then there'll be space for questions and answers. There are none that are too big or too small. We definitely want to be a resource to you, and Kim will actually walk you through where you can get a lot of information in a one-stop shop type of capacity. And so with that, let's jump in. This year, our theme, every year we try to come up with a theme. And so this year, our theme is the innovating lawyer. And we really settled on this. I think the whole title is Pioneering Strategies for Success. And we really landed on this because, as many of you know, the legal profession will continue to be rocked by changes in technology, artificial intelligence, et cetera. And many of us, I'll speak as in the first person as myself, I and maybe some people that I know might be slow to adopt to change, especially when it is earth-shattering change that's moving really, really fast. And we want to help make sure that our profession is moving forward and that we are equipping attorneys to find ways to make changes, whether those are big or small, in their practices so that we can keep up with what the legal profession needs to be able to do, that we can stay at the forefront, and that we can meet the needs of legal consumers. And so with that, you'll see the little graphic here that's like everywhere. You got the little AI robot hand. Like, we are really building on a field of innovation, but innovation being a process. And so sometimes people are feeling like I need to adopt all of the tools. I need to know exactly everything about every single AI thing that's out there. And like, that can be really overwhelming. And so we want to be taking people on a journey of making incremental but fast changes and adaptations in the way that they practice. And so that is one of the things that we want to be helping people to do with practical takeaways. Just a little background about the conference. Take Charge has been around since 2003. I think it started in Savannah. Sheila or Kim, you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Savannah. Mm-hmm.
Moved up here. It used to be sort of small sessions or compiled things. It became a 2-day conference, and we've been running it since 2015 as such. I think we had one break during the pandemic, and we came back strong after that. And so this has been a destination for many attorneys who are solo small firms. It has been the only CLE conference where you can get all of your CLE credit and work on your business as a law practice. And we are really intentional about making sure that people are focused on the business side of running a law firm. And so we have a couple of pillars that we really focus on: management, marketing, financials, cybersecurity, technology. We've added wellness because truthfully, if you're running a practice as a solo or small firm and you are not well, it shows up. And I see that all the time because I get to have the consultations with folks who might find themselves on the wrong side of discipline. And a lot of times it comes from a couple of things. Life spiraled out and it was hard to run my practice, or I am pricing my stuff wrong. I don't have enough clients. The phone isn't ringing. And now I have money problems in the work that I do. And so we really try to bring all of those aspects together in one place so that our attorneys can get really great top-notch information from people who are actually doing the work, who have done it, who've experienced it, who are around the tech, who know it, to be able to really grow their practices and actually run law practices that they desire. We are a community of solo and small firm legal professionals. So we embrace people who are practicing or not practicing, who are on the tech side, who are thinking of other ways of innovating, who work alongside our legal communities, those who are licensed practicing attorneys. We make a lot of space for everyone here because it takes all of us to really get the work done. And there are a couple of things that are different about our conference, and I've been talking for a lot, so I'm going to pass it to Sheila to share with you some of the things that make Take Charge different than other CLE programs that are housed here at the bar.
Yes, well, I'm excited because of what we've actually been able to accomplish over the years. Any of you who have come to our conference before know that we're trying to develop a culture. We feel like attorneys, especially solo and small firm attorneys, can feel isolated. So we do our conference always in person. We do it here at the bar because we have a great facility and it helps us keep the costs down a little bit. We use the exhibit hall, which is the auditorium, as our hub for the conference. So much of the activity takes place in that exhibit hall. We have usually 30 exhibitors, and we see them as a member benefit because those are solution providers for our small firms. They don't get to go to the bigger conferences, so we bring it here to them. We pattern it after the Solo Small Firm Conference, the ABA Tech Show, and that's been very successful. It's created connections to our bar, to the bigger legal community. So we're excited about that. We have a great networking reception that takes place on Thursday night. That's a great way to follow up with any kind of conversations that our members would like to have with speakers or exhibitors. We have a great passport to prizes, great participation. Usually we have 20 to 25 prizes that are taken as a drawing, and it brings in lots of excitement. I've found that attorneys love free things and they love prize drawings. So they come back, a lot of them say, for that, hopefully more. And I think that pretty well covered what I wanted to say about that. And so if you ever have any questions, you can get in touch with me.
And I will say, we share that because we do try to make sure that people go to the exhibit hall. We have some of you who are speakers who are also in the exhibit hall. And some of you may be interested in those opportunities. And so Sheila would be the appropriate person to speak with about that. But what we have heard from our exhibitors and our members is that it is very helpful to learn something and someone talks about all these different tools and then be able to go to the exhibit hall and actually see a demo or get questions answered. And so I share this with you because it can help you in designing your own program, your own session around how you talk about the things, how comfortable you feel with giving people solutions or tips that they can move forward, and just sort of giving you a place to sort of understand the full context of the conference. Again, it is our goal to be building this alongside you. And so we just want to give you as much information as you're building out your sessions around what this conference really is. We say internally here that at Take Charge, we come for the content and we stay for the community. And so we're very active about trying to create spaces where there are opportunities for attorneys to talk with other attorneys, to talk with other legal professionals. even to just sit and stare into space, because tend to like that. I don't know if it says something more about me. But we want you to just keep that in mind. Like, this is also an opportunity for you to build community with the attendees and with each other. And so we are actively trying to build that. If there are suggestions that you have as speakers, I know I've spoken at a lot of different conferences and different things happen. You're kind of like, I wish someone thought about this or that. Like, we welcome that feedback here. And we will try to make as many adjustments in real time as we can. But again, really focused on content and community. So let's talk about content. And I'm going to ask ICLE to jump in at places where it makes sense. But as you know, we do look for presentation slides, and handouts are optional. I know some people have had things, they're a little bit more workshop style. They want to give things to people to actually touch, feel, move around with, and that is an option, that is optional. And so if you do have that, we just ask that you share that with us so we can try to upload it. We are going green, so we don't print out the entire booklet, and that's why one of our deadlines, one of the reasons why the deadline is really important is so that we can get all of the materials inside the digital file that people have, so they can print out the parts of it that they want to print out, and that we're not creating these massive documents that then end up in recycling because nobody wants to take it home with them. So we do ask for presentation slides. I do think, Alyssa, there's a paper that can be slides. Maybe you could speak a little bit to that. And then I'll talk a little bit more about the sessions themselves, and we'll skip to next. I know some people have hard stops.
Yes, so we do like for our speakers to submit a written paper and a PowerPoint. But if your PowerPoint presentation is full of great content, meaning more than just a simple bullet point or an outline, but if it actually has good, hearty information in it, it can also serve as your written materials. The preference is a paper and a PowerPoint, but a PowerPoint that is meaty and full of content is definitely acceptable.
Thank you, Alyssa. And I will say also, just think about the user experience, because sometimes a PowerPoint with lots of text on it is really difficult. And we have selected you because you have great topics. We really feel like the things that you want to talk about are interesting and engaging, and we want the sessions to be as well. So I would just caution you about having too much text, and then more specifically about just reading from the PowerPoint. So we do want these to be interactive. They are 60-minute sessions. We do need to make sure that you have at least 50 minutes of content, and you can leave time, 10 minutes for Q&A. I know Alyssa and I go a little bit back. I like to be very close to the line. So I just say that if you go over 10 minutes for questions, like, we won't ding you for that. But what we want to avoid is someone giving like 15 minutes of content and then us having to try to figure out what happens for the rest of that 45 minutes. And that is because there are specific parameters around being able to get CLE credit for these sessions. And so we really need to make sure that you have a full session that you're ready and prepared to present. I also recommend maybe prepping questions that you think people might have, or maybe questions that you think they should be asking you in the event that you get to the Q&A time and there are no questions. So we love an interactive session. I think we want to try to prevent attorneys from sitting in a room and doing work while they just kind of tangentially listen. Because the information is really important and impactful. We don't necessarily have that as a problem here, but I think that a lot of that is because our speakers are pretty dynamic and interactive, and we want to keep that process going. You should have received an email from Natalie yesterday that had information, the faculty packet that has more details about what we're expecting and what ICLE is requiring. This information will also be on the faculty portal that Kim will walk you through shortly. You all should have gotten a link to access the faculty portal. If you have not, I will ask that you follow up with us after this call so we can make sure that those information is there. That is kind of the one-stop hub for all things speakers for this conference. One thing I also want to mention, and I know many of you are innovators, which is why it makes sense that you're at the Innovating Lawyer themed conference this year. So many of you have products and services, coaching, et cetera, that you offer. And I think that that is fantastic. It's phenomenal. It is our goal to try to connect our members with people who are leading in the work, have things to offer, and help them to advance their practice. We do just want to make sure that this conference is informational and not like a 2-day sales pitch. So if you do have products and services that you have, we kindly ask that you not pitch our attendees from the stage. You might invite them to join you in a conversation afterwards, join your listserv, grab a free download for a tool or something, and then you could make your pitches to them in your email marketing, all those other sequences. We just kindly ask that you don't use the stage for that. Any questions about that before I move forward?
Yes, I just want to clarify your last statement, that it is okay to give away a free resource to which they have to opt in. Is that okay? Okay.
That is correct. Like if at the end of
Okay.
your conference, if you're like, hey, if I have shown you something, I have this great download checklist that can help you, that's fine. I think we're okay with that, Alyssa. I just want to make sure, but I think we're fine with that. We just don't want your entire 50 minutes to be a sales pitch.
Got it. Thank you.
All right. Well, let's talk about some logistics. I have up here a number of important dates that are coming up. The first and foremost being August 15th with your bio and headshot and your session materials. We really want to make that as hard of a deadline as we can so that we can ensure all the other things move forward. If for any reason there is a challenge with meeting that deadline, I humbly ask that you speak with Natalie as quickly as possible. She will be the one who's following up with you. And she's a really kind and thoughtful and wonderful person. So please don't take offense if you're getting a lot of calls or emails. We just want to make sure that things move forward. But she would be the point of contact if you are unable to get your documents submitted in time. If you have challenges uploading those documents, she's also the person that you can connect with about that. Natalie, do you want to say anything about the deadline? Just come off mute.
I'm sorry. I will say that we have some bio and headshots already published on the site on the speaker roster tab. If you have any issues with that, you can reply to my email and just email me those items directly, and I can go ahead and post them or upload them to your speaker profile. And that way that takes one thing off the table that you have to do.
Fantastic. And I know some people have asked like, oh, my picture isn't on the website yet. Again, when you upload those, once we get all of them, all of those pages will be updated. If you go to the registration page for CLE, those who have their information there, you can see it all there. It looks great. I will mention we will be providing speaker badges that you can post on social media, and we would love for you to join us in posting and marketing and sharing that you're speaking at the conference and your topic, and engaging your audiences to come. One of the things, just this full disclosure background is, I really want to grow, our team really wants to grow this program. We did a survey a couple of years ago that said that maybe 50 to 60 something percent of attorneys in Georgia are practicing in a solo or small firm setting. And we want to be able to meet the needs of more than them. We have over 50,000 attorneys who are members here in Georgia, and we have yet to get 10% of that percentage of people who are practicing as solo and small firms at a conference, which wouldn't fit at the bar center. So we have a lot of goals internally to grow this program, to make it more accessible to attorneys across the state, and maybe even give Florida and some others a run for their money on who's the best Southeast conference. I'm slightly competitive, it's fine, I'm working on it. But so we really are trying to build that, and we wanna make sure that more people know that we have this great resource here, that you all are great speakers here. And so if you can help us to market that, that would be incredibly fantastic. So you will get access to those speaker badges. We are working on making them look good for social, because we know that you need to look good online. So please bear with us, but that is coming. We do have a hotel block at the Glen Hotel, which is nearby, walking distance from here. So for some of you who don't want to trek back and forth, who want to make it more of a conference feel, that is available. You can get information on it on the website as well, but that will be closing September 4th. So just keep that in mind. I see your hand, Shana, so go ahead, and then I'll talk through these last few, and we'll get to the portal.
When do we find out exactly what our block is for when we're speaking?
I knew that was going to be one of the burning questions. So we are actually putting together a spreadsheet that will be up on the portal, so you can see, you'll be able to search your name and find the time. And so that was there. You can also technically go on the agenda and look there in ICE on the registration page. But we did try to honor everyone who shared with us that they had some sort of constraint. We worked tirelessly to try to fit the Tetris wheel of that, so that ideally, if you had a constraint, that was considered in that. But that will be coming out, forthcoming. Also a great question.
I have a quick question.
Go ahead.
I usually do Facebook ads to get people to come to events that I'm doing. However, sometimes the organization doesn't allow like the use of any logo or anything because of copyright or whatever. Are there any restrictions on that, or should we have a follow-up conversation about that?
Yes, I don't know if you have something top of mind, Alyssa, but that might be something I need to follow up, because I'll have to talk with communications and others. But go ahead, Alyssa. You look like you were going to say something.
I was listening. I don't think we have any tight, hard and formed restrictions around the copyrights. But if you're going to use information from various sources, just make sure you cite the sources in your presentation.
I think they're talking about ads. I'll follow up with you, Jada, and we'll post the answer to that in the faculty portal if other people have that question or want to know that answer as well. Great question. We are working, last year that we did this conference, we had a speaker reception. We are looking to try to build that out and do that again. It is tentatively set for the 25th, so that'd be the day before the conference starts. So I'm just going to ask you to tentatively save the date. We're still working to make sure that we get sponsors and all the things to make that a really nice event for you. If you know or are interested in sponsoring a speaker reception, or your firm, et cetera, it is a great marketing opportunity. We do try to make sure that we are highlighting everyone who is investing in this. But that is something, so just if you would save that on your calendar. And then of course the conference is the 26th and the 27th. It is all day, both of those days, to make sure that we can give those 12 credits. So just keep that in mind. Any questions about deadlines?
I have a question.
Yes, please.
Deadline. Just for clarity, so we're going to submit our materials by the 15th. Will we get feedback on, like, so my PowerPoint, I think it's enough. It will suffice instead of creating additional material, but will we get feedback to say, okay, I looked at this PowerPoint, it is enough, or like you said, maybe too much, or is there any feedback on that once we submit that? And then what was the next question is the PowerPoint emailed to us. We had an example, like a template. Do you want that first page, like on that template, that should be our leading page, and the last page that has survey, that should be our last page with the PowerPoint that we create? Is that what that template's for?
Yes, thank you. That's a great question. That is, we're trying to create some consistency and branding around it. The last page, definitely, we want to make sure that we're getting feedback. I know oftentimes we get asked by speakers, how was my session? What did people say? And so if you could help us to get the feedback there, that's why that one is on there, to just remind people to fill out the survey. We are also working on improving the survey. So if you all have thoughts around the types of things that you want to get feedback on, please do not hesitate to share that with us. But yes, generally. I will also tell you that I toe the line quite a lot. And so we would love for you to stay on brand, but we don't want to hinder your creativity in presenting either. As with anything in any space, communication is the key to our success. So please, again, no question too big, too small, no piece of feedback too big or too small. We are all, as a team, working on, accepting critical feedback and all those types of things. So we are prepared to take it. We want to make this as great as possible and a great experience for you all who are investing your time in this as well. I do want to make sure I say that you will be registered for the conference, so you don't have to purchase a ticket or do any of those types of things. That is included in what you are doing here. And we do manage the actual getting of the CLE on that as well. ICLE, I shouldn't say we, ICLE does a great job of making sure that that happens for all of us. So in terms of those pieces, we really just need you to show up and shine and communicate with us along the way. I'm going to give it over to Kim to share with you on where the faculty portal is, just to make sure that you see it, know where it is, how to access it. It's our goal. You'll get emails. I hate emails, so I'm always trying to find a way to not participate in that process. And so we have the portal, which will have a lot of that information as well, in case you can't find the email because you're not an inbox zero person like me. So Kim, I will pass it to you.
Hey, Koyo, Yuri had a question before we go on. He wanted to know what materials are expected of the panelists.
That is a wonderful question. So we will likely have materials. So we'll probably be asking you, depending on your topic, to maybe do a one-pager, to maybe pull together resources that align with the topic that we're having, so that people have a resource to go back to. The panels are a little bit more conversational in that regard, so you won't necessarily need to put up a PowerPoint or anything of that sort.
And also Michelle Wallace, she wanted to know, for planning curiosity, how many attendees came the last conference each day?
Yeah, so we actually have a pretty good attrition, well, not attrition, we have a pretty good retention rate, because in order to get 12 CLE credits, you got to show up for both of those days. And so I think when we held the conference coming back from the pandemic, we had over 100 folks that were there, which was lower for us than previous years, but I think we're all figuring out how to be in person post-pandemic. But it was roughly the same amount on both days. Mostly everybody stays the whole time.
Okay. All right. And that was all the questions. Would you like for me to go forward with the faculty portal?
Please.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So I'll be walking you all through how to effectively use our conference faculty portal. The portal is designed to streamline your conference experience. Although you may get many emails throughout the planning process, both from LPM and ICLE, we created the portal just for you so you can find all the information in one place. You can access the portal from the georgiabarsolo.org website, which is the official website for the Take Charge conference. And let me share my screen. Okay, to access the portal, you will find the faculty portal scheduled under schedule. Click on faculty portal, and then that's where you will put in your information to log in. So everyone should have received an invitation to access the portal via email. I sent that out last week. If you haven't done so by, putting your login credentials, please check your inbox for the invitation. And inside, you'll find a link to set your password. Once you've created your password, you can log into the portal. All right. So on the faculty portal, after logging in, you will be greeted by the faculty page. This is your central hub where you can easily find quick links to download the conference PowerPoint template, which you can find that here. Sorry. You can upload your materials, create your profile, so you can put in your bio and photo, social media marketing information, and any type of like social conference event, hotel information on here that you could use for the conference. So it's pretty straightforward, nothing difficult, but you can just click on here. At some point, we are recording the Zoom meeting, so that information will be here as well in case you need to refer back to it. You'll find a deadline for your speaker profile, like your headshot and bio, your written papers, PowerPoint presentations. All of that can be uploaded by clicking on the link. And that's pretty much it. It's pretty straightforward. So did anyone have any questions about the portal at all?
Kim, if you could drop the link in there, I do see that. Like, what is the link for that? So if you could drop the link into the chat so people have it, that would be great.
Okay.
I have a question.
Please.
Okay.
Hi, this is Claude Duclos. I had submitted about 7 different topics, and I just looked at the agenda, and I don't think I'm on there at all. Is that the final agenda?
No, sorry, it is not the final agenda. So if you, especially if you are doing a smart bar or a showcase session, those ones have not yet been added to the agenda. We were waiting to try to make sure we knew who all the speakers were, but it will be added. And we're excited to have you.
Well, thank you. I'm very, very happy to be available this year. I think I've missed the last 2 because I had other conflicting agreements, but I wanted to reconnect with my friends in Georgia. Y'all are wonderful. It's a great place to speak.
Fantastic. Well, we are at the point for any burning questions. So if there are additional questions, please feel free.
I've got to go. Bye.
Yes, go ahead. You can just, Dara, you can come off.
I have a question. Okay. I'm wondering if I want to, I saw the agenda, like the template. I know you're still putting it together, and I wondered if I wanted to go to a session that I was actually at the same time as I was supposed to speak. Is there a way to ask you to reinsert me somewhere?
Oh my goodness. Let's have an offline conversation about that because we might be able to.
Okay. Can I send you an email or something? Is that easiest?
Sure.
Okay.
But I will say, because I know what I'm feeling right now is like there's gonna be a flood of emails of like, can you move me around? And so
I didn't want to do that to you.
I'm gonna say generally we will do our best to accommodate folks, but given, we asked on the front end to try to avoid this, we could do the Tetris thing on the front end. So it will be to our ability at this point.
Understood.
There's no harm in asking. That's what I tell my kids. You gotta try, let them tell you no. So
thank you.
Any other questions?
Inkoyo, this is Kate from Clio. Hi. I am thinking yes, but I just want to make sure, are the materials for the showcase sessions and smart bar sessions also due August 15th?
Yes, we are trying this year. I know that that's a little different than how we've done it in the past, but we're really trying to have it all as much as possible around the same time so that things can get uploaded.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
It looks like Dara Berger. She has her hand raised.
She just asked. Unless you have another one.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I just saw that.
I'm good.
Sorry.
All right. Well, again, we are super, super duper excited to be building this conference with you. We will try to make sure that everything is in the faculty portal and that we keep that as updated as possible. We are on social. You can find us at GA Bar LPM on Instagram, Threads. We have a presence on X/Twitter, but I don't know that anyone's really over there. So, and we do have a Facebook page technically too. So it is the same at GA Bar LPM. And we also have a LinkedIn page. And I will actually have Kim put that into the portal so that you can see the page there. We would love for you to tag us in any content that you're producing and putting up about the conference. We would love to be able, particularly on our LinkedIn page, our ICLE does a great job of marketing and they love to tag speakers. We're trying to put out content that is connected, you know, if we're doing marketing, like here are all the marketing sessions, here are common questions, come to this session, you know, and be able to tag you all as well. And so if you're comfortable with that, please repost and share. The more that we can get this out, the better we'll be able to meet more attorneys, many of whom maybe didn't know this conference happened or didn't think that it was valuable because it's coming from the Bar Center. We want to show them that we do put on a pretty good conference and it's a lot of fun. So if there are other things that come up, and that is absolutely not the correct website. The website, let me put it in the chat, for the conference is www.gabarsolo.org, right, Kim? I'm terrible with domain names. But we'll put it in the chat. You'll have access to it. You can direct other people there. We do have a couple hashtags, GA Bar Solo 24, and then of course, GA Bar LPM. So feel free to use those as you are posting and sharing. If there are questions, do not hesitate. We are absolutely thrilled and honored to be on this journey with you all, and we cannot wait to put on yet another very successful conference.